And we're back. Shabbat that wah. You're listening to the Talkin' Boxing with Billy C. Show. Glad you could join us. I want to give a special shout out to ESPN New Hampshire. We're glad that you're part of our family, and we're glad that we're with you guys today on ESPN New Hampshire. Today's show is being brought to you in part by my book, Tom Molyneux, From Bondage to Baddest Man on the Planet. Get yourself a copy right now. Where all good books are sold. And I mean right now, you can get it on Amazon.com or BarnesandNoble.com. If you're looking to get a signed copy, visit our website, www.billycboxing.com, and click on the book club section, and we'll get you a signed copy. And today's show is also being brought to us in part by Sal's Neighborhood Pizzeria Italiano restaurant in beautiful St. Simons Island, Georgia, where the food is fantabulous. You can check out his website, www.salsneighborhoodpizzeria.com, or you can go to salcenicola.com and learn all about this guy. You can give him a call, 912-268-2328, 912-268-2328. Find out why I drive all that way for a slice of pizza. Oh, and speaking of Sal, Rocky Cenicola, he's joining us right now. And we're going to chat a little about our great weekend. What's up, Sal?
Bill, how are you, my friend?
Oh, not too bad. I just got out of the car, man, from the drive.
You did.
No, I didn't. I didn't.
I'll tell you, talk about a road warrior. You're there.
I tell you, I just wanted. I'm glad you got some time to spend with us real quick. I know today we had some technical issues. Believe it or not, some stuff you and I were talking about off air. But I appreciate you getting some time. We saw a great fight once again at your facility, and Sal, you've been tweaking. Trying to get tie in your passion for the sport of boxing, and of course your passion and your business savvy of your successful restaurant, and I think we kind of found that happy medium. Tell us about some of the moves that you made to make our pre and post fight show possible and as successful as it was.
Well, Bill, you hit it on the head. You grow and you learn and you refine, almost like a fighter. You learn from past experience. What works, what won't work as well, and you hone in and you round it off and you try it. You toggle it a little bit. It's a little trial and error. And this was the third fight show we did at the pizzeria, at the restaurant. And I think we've grown from each of the previous ones. And this one was by far the best yet and most accommodating to satisfy all of my valued patrons and guests and family members that come in to dine and enjoy our atmosphere. But also, the other passion that I do have and hold close to my heart like none other is the fight game and where we are. And allowing me the opportunity to be put in front of your radio fans and TV fans is an honor. And I want to hone in on my skills and develop my repertoire and my knowledge so I can have a valuable part and continue to do so. It's important to me. And I think what we did differently this time around was after you guys showed up and we fed you and wined you and dined you and said, hey, I was ready to sign another contract with Carl King. I was going to get a title fight, but I don't know when that would have been. Anyway.
Too much wine. Too much whining and dining, but we won't go there, right? But
we won't go there. But I could have sworn I signed a favor that said I was going to fight either the winner or the loser of this fight. And
then after we watched the fight, that paper got burned because we got treated to a really good fight, and it was a fight that we knew that was going to be beneficial to the sport overall. I thought that everyone that seemed to have watched the fight basically had a comment about it one way or another, but it was all from a positive standpoint. And I know that you with me, we broke down the fight, we talked about it, the pre-fight, we talked about the post-fight. I mean, we watched the fight. Now that the fight is over and you had some time to digest what you saw and even what we have already talked about, what's your thoughts on the fight, the Triple G win over Lemieux? I know you have some strong feelings about Lemieux himself, and you got to have some strong feelings about Triple G. What did you see now that the smoke has cleared and it's several days after the event is over?
Bill, and that's exactly it. We let the dust settle. I looked at these fighters. I have a lot of respect for both fighters. I think this is exactly what our sport needs right now. These two warriors willing to rise to the occasion and try to find and seek out and compete against the best there is. And that's what made me an instant fan of Lemieux. When I heard his interview, and being the IBF champion that he was, he could have probably remained champion for a long time, and at least a year or so, and fight some top contenders, make some good money, and defeat a lot of the people in his category. But when I heard him say he felt he was the best, and the only way to prove he's the best is to fight the best, and he wanted to rise to that occasion, and that's why he took on and wanted to fight Triple G, and to prove to his heart, to his mind, to us fans, that he was truly of the world-class caliber, wanting to be the best and feeling he was the best. Came up a little short, but I like the spirit, I like the intensity, and that was what we seldom hear today, is someone saying, hey, you know what, I want to seek out who everyone thinks is the best, and I want to face them, because when I defeat them, then I'm going to be the best. And that's what I love. I instantly became a good fan of his. But I'm a fan of Triple G, because there's a guy who's a textbook, methodical, destructive machine. This guy just tears it apart. I saw going into the fight, you have the whole chronological order of signing for a fight, going to camp training. I've been there 160 times, and going in there, preparing yourself with the training every day, counting the days to compete, looking when you're going to peak, doing your running, doing this, doing that, eating your diet, and then the press conference to stimulate the interest and to create the fervor and the excitement in the air about the competition coming. And then, of course, you arrive. Fight day is right around the corner, and you're acclimating to the arena, to the area, to the hotels, to get to walk the streets, to get your final workout in. And then you're going to put your imagery training and focus on destroying your opponent, and what you're going to have to do, how you're going to have to move in the ring, what you're going to feel like. That's all the imagery training that's so important. And then fight night comes. And when you step into that ring, you're going to have that same fire and intensity and that dream that you can taste the victory just after a few bells are going to ring tonight. And right up to that point, I felt all along that David Lemieux was going to do exactly what he wanted to do. But when I saw his eyes, when he stepped into the ring, I saw in his eyes a little different message. And I think he was more than capable of, he lasted, 8 rounds? But I think he realized at that point he was just maybe a little intimidated. I don't know. But I saw something different in his eyes for the first time. And being where he was and in his position many times, I kind of felt he lost a little bit of that fire. Just got doused a little bit when the realization came, when they touched gloves and when they were looking at each other's eyes just a foot away from each other, that the next bell that's going to ring is going to start, what's going to definitely put a direction in both their lives. Now, he fought. He did very well. And Triple G came out there, and what he did, he fought a fight that I wasn't really anticipating that he was. I thought these guys were going to be like when worlds collide, get in the middle of the ring and just stand in a pocket, trade a little bit, move around, try to slip the punches, avoid the punches, parry the punches, maybe throw a few feints. But Triple G, in his methodical fashion, threw a punishing jab. Not just the jab. The jab is a beautiful weapon, beautiful tool. You could use it as so many different roles in the fight game. It could get as an annoying little feeler how far you are away from your opponent, and you can nail him with a right hand. You could use it as like any kind of swordsman would use his sword in jousting or any kind of match. The same thing, what he was using his jab, but he found he could punish Lemieux with that jab. And he not only threw his head back and shook his head back with that powerful jab, but he knew that everything that he was going to throw that night was going to come off that jab, because he found a beautiful sweet home with that jab. And Dave Lemieux, to his credit, he tried to slip a few punches. He tried to counter a few punches. But I saw in his eyes and I saw in his body, he looked at the opportunity, and by the time he executed it, it was already too late. You know why? Because already Triple G was looking to put a combination together. And what I saw him do with David Lemieux's body, as far as sinking that left hand, that left hook into his liver, it was punishing. So you look about enduring that, and you're trying to see what you're going to do for your fight plan. How are you going to get it off? Well, the truth of the matter is, David Lemieux never really got off to his fight plan. He was punished by the jab. He was slowed down by the body shots. And Triple G just kept up nice, persistent, punishing assault. And David Lemieux, to his credit, took a lot of good shots. To his credit, he did catch him with a couple of shots. At one point, I think he even hurt Triple G. But in the end, it was inevitable. Do I think they stopped the fight a little bit too soon? Yes, I do. I think it could have gone on a little more, and I think that's why also David Lemieux will have a little argument that he didn't get hurt too much by this fight, because even though he was clearly beaten, and it would have been inevitable if they let it continue, probably, but he could have said, hey, I was just backing up, I was in control, I had my hands up, I didn't want the fight to be stopped, and I was just going to wait to unload a right hand when I saw him coming towards me. You never know. But it was a great fight. It lived up to the excitement, and I was happy we had it, and I loved it. I loved it. It's what we need in boxing today.
I don't think he ever hurt Triple G in that
No.
fight. I think that he tried to, and I agree. There was definitely some fear in his eyes. I think he tried his best, you know. But you know, Triple G is more than a power puncher. I mean, this is a guy that, and he proved it on Saturday night. Sal, you know, he breaks down his opponent like a surgeon. He pinpoints his punches. He's so accurate. He gets behind. The hands are up, and he still gets behind the punches. I mean, and he just, like you said, he does it in a methodical way. You know. I think he's clearly the best middleweight in the world, and I'm honestly, I'm not sure if there's any fighter between 154 and 168 pounds that can beat Triple G, at least today. You know, and like we had talked about off the air, he's 33 years old. It's not like he's going to be around for the next decade. You know, I mean, we're seeing something that's going to be short-lived, and I hope that we get to see him more, and I do agree with you. I think that David Lemieux's career is certainly not hurt by this. I think that their paths may even cross again someday. But I think next up for Triple G should be the winner of the next big fight we're going to be down at your place for, and that's Miguel Cotto taking on Saul Canelo Alvarez, which got to be another great one, right?
It's going to be a great one. And you know what? I'm already pumping up my staff for that. My staff is getting to like these things. Don't forget, I'm in Southeast Georgia. Southeast Georgia is not a boxing capital. I introduced them to boxing with my comeback and my history. That's about the only boxing they gave attention to. Southeast Georgia loves their college football. Southeast Georgia loves their MMA fighting. Southeast Georgia loves everything else. They have not ever been really exposed or educated about the art, science, and the squared circle known as boxing. So now they are getting a hand of it and a hold of it. And you know, it was a rough start showing them a preview with the Mayweather, but we won't go there. But it worked out. And now when they saw this past fight card, which was excellent, it was a very good fight card, and they got a real good glimpse of Triple G. Like I said, these guys were of a caliber and class of what boxing needs. It's exciting. As I said to you earlier, you know what, I look back, and I always use as reference my generation of fighting and everything else, and this is turning to be a beautiful middleweight division. You know, like we could mention and talk, and we get excited when we had our own domestic heroes, such as the Marvin Hagler, the Sugar Ray Leonard, the Tommy Hearns, and even as lighter as the welterweights. This is this crew. This is this crop. You have the Canelo Alvarez, who I like very much. But I'll tell you what, there's nobody out there, like you said, Billy, that I know of that can face the Triple G that I saw the other night. It's just too far. He's got about 2 good years left to really make his mark into boxing. Maybe more, but the fighters is going longer, but he had an extensive amateur career. And he certainly has not been too abused or hurt in his professional career thus far. So I think, you know, as long as his mind and his heart and his body is willing to go, I think he's got another good, solid 2-year run in the game of boxing. And I don't see anybody right now that could really stand up to his persistent pressure and his power. Because I saw that. Believe me, As much as I wanted to believe in Dave Lemieux, and I do, he's still improving, he's still going to come up, and he's still going to be on a top scene. But guess what? Triple G is the man that will rule the middleweight division for a long time to come.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt about that. And, the only thing standing in his way of really going in the history books is the cooperation of other promoters and networks, because politically, that's the biggest stumbling block today, unlike any other time in the history of the sport. But hey, Sal, I really appreciate you coming on the fly like this, and we'll get you back on your regular time slot next week, and you and I will chat about that and all of that other stuff. And I want to thank you and your staff for putting up with us and giving us another great time. It was a blast there. Give a shout out to all the people that were at Sal's Neighborhood Pizzeria and Restaurant, enjoying the food and the fights. And we look forward to making it bigger and better each time. So the next time is Cotto Canelo, which is going to be another big fight. So I guess you got to start getting ready for that now, huh?
We will. We'll be talking, we'll be making plans, and we'll be making sure that it's going to be a good success. And I think it's going to be a darn good fight. And we'll see. I like both fighters. They're both experienced, and they're both willing to put it on the line. And I think they're going to fight their hearts out. So,
yeah,
like I said, let's resurrect this fight game.
The only thing, Sal, is I wonder, are they going to fight their hardest? Because remember, the winner kind of gets Triple G. So maybe they're thinking, yeah, maybe I'll take my foot off the gas a little bit. I don't want to fight too good, But anyway, Sal, thanks for stopping by, and we'll look forward to you next time, my man.
Thank you so much, Billy. To you and your fans and everybody out there, I appreciate having the opportunity, and we'll look forward to talking to you again next week. And I'll talk to you, of course, during the week. Thank you, my friend.
All right, brother. Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.
That's my man Sal, Rocky Cenicola. And, if you weren't down there, you missed a good time. So don't miss the next one. It's actually the weekend before Thanksgiving, so take some extra time off. Keep an eye on BillyCBoxing.com. We'll put up a poster. We'll get you some information. Now, if you want to come down and you want some information on hotels and all that stuff, just drop me an email, Billy@Talkin Boxing. That's TALKINBOXING.com. We're going to be giving stuff away. This is going to be a special time. This is going to be like kicking off our holiday season, and we want to do it down at Sal's. So make sure you make your plans for the Canelo and Cotto fight down at Sal's Neighborhood Restaurant, Pizzeria, all that good stuff. Call if you're in St. Simons, 912-268-2328. Listen, I know that today's show was rushed. We had a lot of stuff going on and covering a lot of stuff, but there's always time for this.